Yeah, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Prison Break Raw. I'm your host, the one and only Big JD. There is nothing more cringe or nothing more annoying than to listen to the fool that shoots out of his mouth that stupid-ass fake accent, or all the little words that they use to try to cross cultural lines, to subscribe to societal norms, to break ethnic barriers and all that shit, and they think that it's harmless fun. They think it's just a fad. But in a lot of ways, it's offensive, and we're going to get into all that right here because this needs to be discussed. Because I can't go anywhere on my Instagram, on my Facebook, anywhere in this world that I don't hear people using the N-word. Now I'm going to break down to you why it's a no-no in the prison system. I mean, you may think that it's for all these other reasons outside what it really is, but I'm going to explain to you just why it's a no-no, it's unacceptable, and you're probably going to get yourself fucked up if you're using it. If you're running with the sureños, if you're running with the white boys and you're using that word, you're probably going to get smashed. I've actually seen somebody get smashed over using this word. A lot of people start screaming, oh, it's racism, it's racism. They go to that label witch hunt that they got going on nowadays, and it has nothing to do with that. But the fake accent, we're going to get into all of them because they're just so annoying, and you're just like, God, man, will this person just shut the fuck up, right? I'm going to give it to you all the way to the white boy that puts a perfect 10 on it, whether he's trying to talk black or whether he's trying to talk like he's Chicano. Even the Mexican that does it, women that do it, everybody that does it, even blacks do it themselves. Yes, they do. Don't think that you're going to skate by this one right here because you're not. You're all guilty of it. To some form of degree, some way or shape or form or another, you are guilty of this, and it's annoying. Hopefully I can point this shit out that's in your blind pain, and you may be more aware and conscious of when it could happen or when you might think you want to do it in order to drop somebody's guard, make somebody feel more uncomfortable. What you're really doing is you're just making people feel even more uncomfortable than they already are, if in fact they are uncomfortable to begin with. So let's start with number one. First and foremost, very important. Nowadays, you see them everywhere, right? You see them in the music business. We're going to start off with the Mexicans or Chicanos or Puerto Ricans or whoever that like to use the N-word all the time. And for a lot of blacks out there, some of them don't care, but there are some that really do care, and it does offend them. It bothers them. I mean, I've seen it, and I'll point out a couple of examples. But yes, the homie that uses the N-word, or the white boy that uses the N-word. First off, you got to understand where that word comes from in the first place. The word has a lot of history that's tied to something that's very derogatory, demeaning. I mean, it comes from the original word of negro in Spanish that means black. Okay, now when the Spanish were trading slaves in the West Indies, in places like Jamaica and Puerto Rico and various other islands, Dominican Republic and whatnot, Haiti, they were advertising them as negros. But you see a lot of these ignorant hillbillies in the South and places like that, or those of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant descent, couldn't really pronounce the word negros, so they said Negroes. The more further into the backwoods you got, the more further you got onto the plantation. A lot of them dudes had very limited education as it was, but just because they had the same skin complexion as the guy that owned the plantation, they put him in charge. And thus the word ending with ER was born. It also comes from another word called Niger, or Nigel, which are another more European terms for black. And then you have other ones like kafir or kafar and kafir and all that stuff like that. And they're all derivatives of other words that mean black. Now, this ain't really about the history lesson, but just so that you understand how much history this word has to it. So the argument that I constantly get when I'm checking people on why they say it is like, oh, well, I'm not using it with the ER. I'm using it with the GA. Stupid. Dumbass. Do you not realize that those ignorant whip crackers that were on those plantations, they used the GA word more than the ER word because they didn't even know how to pronounce proper English themselves? It's a learned word. It doesn't matter in what way you use it with the ER or the GA. It's the same fucking thing. That's what really kills me as far as ignorance goes in the people that we live around us, man. It just makes you want to just take a wet noodle and just start slapping them all with it. So it's become acceptable slang in a lot of circles, but a lot of people, especially from the old school, they're not really with it. They get a lot of these rappers, Chicano rappers that, you know, tie the bandana in the front of their head, talking inward this, good this, inward that, good that, and all this shit. Yeah, I'm fixing to go down the road, catch this fade with this fool down here and all that. Come on, man, cut that shit out. You sound silly as fuck. You look stupid as fuck. You probably just shouldn't do it at all. And a lot of people trip out on like why the old school, like Chicanos, Veteranos and stuff like that. Oh, well, you guys are you're just clinging on to a dead fad. Baggy pants and cholo and all that shit ain't in no more. It's all about skinny pants and filing your nails and wearing lipstick and saying the N-word. It's not really what it's about, man. You got to understand, like, the Pachuco or the cholo culture, multi-generational, man. It wasn't a fad in the 80s and the 90s. It's multi-generational, and they look at it as a cultural thing, a lot of these veteranos. And when you try to break with that, it's like a slap to the face. It's like they look at their culture and their identity slipping away with this later generation, and that's probably the scariest thing in the world that somebody could face. But in the prison system, the little homie comes in. He's talking, yeah, my G, my Inga and all that stuff like that. We're going to go down here, yeah, we're finna to do this, we're finna to do that. I witnessed in the MDC Los Angeles, a veterano slapped the shit out of a dude that did that. I even watched some kid come in with cornrows and watch the horrible sight of pain and agony. When they were shaving that shit, I was like, blood and everything. It was horrible. And people think that it's racism. But let me tell you what it really is. It's out of respect. All right? It's out of respect for the blacks that are in the prison system. Because you have to understand one thing. You may have a group of blacks standing over here. There may be 30 of them. 20 of them don't care that this dude is using that word. I mean, if he's white, they probably all will care. But if he's a Mexican dude, like 20 of them may not care, but 10 of them will. You may be standing somewhere where you got fools from the BGF, 5%ers, Nation of Islam, Moorish Science Temple. All these people frown down on the word, the N-word used, even in their own race. And they've smashed on their cellies for calling them that. So now you standing there and you going Inga this, Inga that. Fool from the BGF turns around and says, say, motherfucker, why don't you stop using that word? Next thing you know, it pops. So it's a good rule of thumb to just not use it at all. As a matter of fact, nobody should be using it because, like I said, it is a very dark and very despicable history. I don't understand why anybody uses it, and it's not because I'm older, I'm from this generation, because people were using it back when I was a kid. I didn't use it then. I ain't going to use it now. I understand where it comes from, and I understand it has a lot of emotion and pain attached to it. Then you get the people go, well, blacks call each other that all the time. Why can't we? it ain't for me or you to even get into why they use it in the first place. That's for them to figure out. Has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with you. What you should do is be more up on having a little respect and a little self-pride and pride in your culture and stop hating your own skin. That goes to a lot of the white boys that do it. When you get those little Jamie Kennedy fools walking around, the B-Rads, and they talking all like that, and they look hella stupid, and they sound stupid as fuck. You know they don't talk like that when they're sitting in there talking to their mom or their father. You got those same white dudes that run in the Sureño car, coming up on the block, yeah, ¿sabes qué, homie? Yeah, I'm gonna go get these sopas, talking like this. That shit's even more fucking cringe. I've had a couple of cellies like that, man. I tell them, why you talk like that? I was in the visiting room with you last week, and you don't talk to your mom like that. Oh, yeah, Mom, it's great here. Yeah, I got a lot of friends here. Mom, can you send me some money so that I can get some soups and stuff from the canteen? Come walking in the block talking about, yeah, homies, my jefita's going to send me some feria so I can go to tienda and get some sopas. And shut the fuck up, man. Just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. It's so fake, man, and people can spot it from a mile away. I was told early on when I tried to, do this myself. And a lot of times, a lot of the things that I say and the way I talk might be a little bit of a rub-off. Because I've been in prison a long time. I've been more state-raised than I was raised by my family and my parents. So living that close, yeah. But a lot of these kids, they grow up in a household with parents that don't have any kind of an accent at all. The thing with a lot of Chicanos, a lot of Mexicans, their parents, English is a second language to them. So they got an accent. It rubs off on the kids because it's spoken in the household. That's much different than the people that are running around in the streets. And yeah, you got a lot of white homies and black homies that can speak fluent Spanish and all this and this and that. They learned it from books and from wanting to learn it. But it just didn't come natural. But the fake accent is what I'm talking about. You can spot it from a mile away. You see it on some of these YouTube channels and shit. Doesn't it get annoying? Isn't it kind of like, don't you just want to, like, God, I can't believe I'm listening to this. But don't think because you black that you don't do it either. I don't know how many black dudes I've heard in the system trying to talk to paisas, man, and that's fucking, oh my God. Ugh. Talking to him like a 3-year-old kid. You no go to yard? You go to yard? You could go, you no go to yard? Shut your ass up. It's hard enough for this man to learn English as a second language without you babbling in his face and making it fucking worse. They do it all the time. I've even had some of them come up to me when they didn't know where I was from, know anything about me, trying to talk like, yeah, dude, gonna catch some waves, bruh. It's like, look, man, I don't talk like that. You don't need to come at me and talk to me like that either. This shit stretches out into society, though. What these kids and these people that are out here. Think of the white girl that's at the office or that works in the restaurant. She talks in her usual white manner that she was raised, how she was raised to speak. The minute a black girl comes on the scene, she's like, oh, girl, we gonna go out, we gonna do this, girl. That's even fucking, oh my God. I want to gouge out my own fucking eyes, fucking just stick fire pokers into my ears, and wish that I don't ever have to hear that again. Maybe I might need a lobotomy after that shit. The thing of it is, people, don't try to put a perfect 10 on it just to fit in. Especially don't do it when you're in the prison system. Because you got a lot of sharks in there. They see that you're trying way too hard. You're trying to fit in. You know what I mean? And they're going to reel your ass in and they're going to have you doing some shit. It's like that movie with Clint Eastwood. Get off my lawn. That white dude's out there. Nah, it's cool, bro. It's cool, bro. See right through that shit. I mean, it's just one of these things that you just don't do. And using the N-word in the prison system, I've heard some other dudes trying to talk about how they do it and all that. Yeah, maybe on the fucking pussy-ass S&Y yard. But you ain't going to do that in a GP, and you damn sure ain't going to do that in the feds, because you got blacks from all over the country, from all walks of life. And there's a lot of them old school traditional cats that are still in there, that don't even want their own people using the word. I seen this fool jump up on one dude one time from Texas. Mexican dude from Texas that was using it. He told him, say, man, stop using that word. You ain't black. You can't use it. A fight ensued. And the rest is history, man. This shit almost popped into something bigger than it should have been. All because some jackwagon been listening to too much rap music. But yeah, in the prison system, it's a definite no-go, and it has nothing to do with racism. It's all about respect. Nobody should be using that N-word, period. Don't give me that, well, it's not in the ER, it's in the GA, because the GA word was used by the whip crackers on the plantation, who were white boys. That's how they spoke. Do your history, man, before you use words. Words have power. Almost every single word that you use has some kind of power. The way you carry yourself is most important. It's how you carry yourself in here and how you carry yourself up here. It has nothing to do with the way you speak. I get clowned all the time, but I had old school veteranos telling me, JD, don't be like the rest of these homies. Don't be like Frosty. Don't be like Weddle. And try to talk all stupid and try to put on this fake accent and try too hard, man. Just be yourself. And I'll tell you what, the homies will clown me. The homies will tell me that I butcher Spanish words or that I talk too white. I talk too elegant or something like that. But you know what, at the end of the day, that motherfucker's going to stand with me when it's on and popping. Best believe that to be true. You already know what it is. You heard it right here. Prison Break, raw, uncut, uncensored, no holds barred, not sugarcoat, not politically correct, all up in your face, slapping you with that dick of reality. And I'm out.